see. How's everyone doing today? Beautiful day, isn't it? Not really here in Austin. It's humid and muggy. I mean, hazy and muggy, though. It's a lot better than it's going to be in 2 months from now, when it's going to be 97 at this time of day. I hope you guys can hear me all right. I'm back to using the microphone, but it's a little windy today. So, in any event, all right, I'm going to remember to share my screen so you guys don't have to look at my face the whole time. I want to show you guys some charts and some good stuff. All right, let's see how the market closed today. Now, for those of you guys who don't know or didn't watch my morning update, I was busy doing something all day, and I've been doing that something else all day until just now. I haven't even looked at the market once. I didn't have any profit boxes drawn for today. In any event, I've gone back and updated the spreadsheet, and we can look at how we did, or how the funds did. I guess I could say we, now that I own JetFly. And anyway, I say we more in the sense of, it's us against them. All right. It looks like the market was straight trash today. It went straight sideways. This would be a day that if you bought calls or if you bought puts, you'd probably been real frustrated. This would be a perfect day for selling options, but lots of days are good days for selling options, although not yesterday. Yesterday was not a great day for selling options, as we all know. All right. Well, in any event, it looks like for now, it stopped for now. All right, let's see what actually happened. So JPY, these guys sold the 50-80 strike. Market ended at 50-51. Am I sharing the damn screen? I better be sharing the screen. Yeah, I always nervous and check that I forget that I'm not. All right. All right, so JPY, I was trying to make 900,000 today, but they only made 153. But considering what happened yesterday, when they lose $1.4 million, or the day before when they lose $1.6 million, I will take the $153,000 winner. All right, so triple QY, let's see what happened to these guys. They sold the 17-8-10 strike. They got a lot of money for it, $154. That's probably the most money they've ever got. And of course, after that huge one-day shock, yeah, I mean, they got 154 another time as well. In any event, that's going to be on the high side. As you guys know, we follow this every day. That's why I follow this. That is definitely on the high side. And these guys realized a good portion of it. Wonder what Jackson's barking at. Jackson, what are you barking at? I got a comment that I holler too much at Jackson. At nighttime I do, but and I'll try to quit doing that. I want him supposed to stay where I can see him, because at night, because it's dark, and I don't want him crossing the street and getting run over. If he's playing up here on the wood pile, it's fine. But sometimes I holler at him when I can't see where he's gone. But anyway, I'm not mad at him or whatever, at all. He's a great dog. All right, so but triple QY, good looking day right there. $800,000 winner. I mean, that's that we'll darn sure take that. We will darn sure take that. It took a little of the red ink off the books. 5 cents, subtracted 5 cents earnings per share. The dividend estimate's still low, which I don't really get. I'm going to see. I can see one reason. This probably shouldn't change it much. No, I mean, I don't know what to say. I do keep promising that I'm going to check my friend in Discord who keeps these books also, and I'll check that number before I gripe next time about the dividend being low. But it is running low on that fund. On this fund, it's not, but it's dropping a little bit. The other day it was around 110 or 108, remember? I think it was 110. Now we're showing 102 after I put in today's results. Even though I didn't do profit boxes, I went and filled out today's prices. But anyway, these guys sold the 1985 strike today. The Russell closed at 1967, so that's a few points in the money, of course. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough points in the money to make them lose money, because it was 17 and a half points in the money. So they still squeaked out a small $72,000 profit. So, I mean, it's, you got to take what you can get. It's the way I look at it. I'll listen to you guys' opinion on it. Okay. Spy T, I'm trying to think if I've done their books yet, if I've updated them. This spreadsheet is, oh my gosh, a mess. I'm trying to get this. I have this other commitment, and it's a place I volunteer for. It's a good cause, and they do a huge celebrity golf tournament and raffle, and anyway, it's great. It's a great cause. Well, it's next Monday, so I've been super busy, and but I promise to get back working hard on my YouTube channel as soon as I get this behind me. I sent all the stuff off to the printer, so I'm kind of pretty close to being done. I still have some loose ends to tie up, but anyway, I have a bunch of cool stuff and new content planned and everything. And I'm sorry that I don't have profit boxes drawn today and don't have some of the stuff on Spy T. Here's what I do have on Spy T. What I look at every day, like I say, this is the worst spreadsheet. I was going to make an appointment to have a video call with Corey and ask her a few questions and get some advice on how to automate some of this and make it look a little prettier. In any event, what I look at every day is I look here. So right here, the SPY profit, that's the profit or loss for the SPY T ETF of just the SPY shares alone. So right now they actually have IVV shares, but they have about 2,000 of them. Wait. No, they have 20. Well, let me look. Gosh darn, I forgot. I think they have come on, Spy T. What are you doing to me? I get mixed up because they sell calls on the SPX, but the SPX is 10 times as big as the IVV or the SPY. Well, the IVV and the SPY is what the underline is that they own. And I was just trying to be accurate. I was trying to tell you guys they own, I was going to say 2,000 shares, but then I thought, no, it's wrong because of the multiple. But then I said 20,000. That sounded wrong. But no, they own 19,980 shares of the IVV, which is substantially equivalent to the SPY. So it's the S&P 500. But they only sell one thing. They don't have to do coverage. They could do as many call spreads as they wanted to do because a call spread covers itself. But in the sense that even though they don't have to, they do try to kind of, it seems, roughly match up the amount of call spreads they sell with the shares they have. Usually it seems like they leave a few thousand shares unencumbered. Like yesterday, I think they had 18,000 shares and they sold 16 call spreads. Like I said, they aren't, I guess it's just to keep it straight for the math. There's one call spread for every so many shares, for every 1,000 shares, but it doesn't have to be. They could sell 100 call spreads if they wanted to. Or, the call spread, I'm just trying to say the call spread is not leveraged to the stock in any way, and the stock is not pledged against the call spread in any way. The spread, it's its own hedge, it's its own offset. Might be interesting if what a fund would do if a fund maybe did what Spy T was doing, but sold double the amount of shares they have, and it'd be like having leverage. A fund like that could pay 40% instead of 20%. But just like leverage works great on the up, and it would have problems too. Can you imagine the the NAV decay in a freaking down market with a leverage yield fund. I mean, it'd be nasty. All right, well, let's see what else is going on. But that was good. Let's look over here at Tress, so Tress trades TLT. I'm going to check for comments in a second if you guys have anything you want to talk about. This is probably going to be my last update of the day because I have one other thing I'm working on that doesn't have to go to the printer, but still has to be done for the tournament. It can be printed. It is something to be printed, but it's not printing material. It can be printed. It's 8.5 by 11, printed anywhere. In any event, this appears to be right in the middle. This is TLT, and this is what TRES trades. It appears to be right in the middle of their valley of death. When we look at the buffer report, I'm going to show you TRES is a shining spot, one of the few shining spots on the buffer report, which is really nice to see. I'm really pulling for TRES. I don't have any, like I always mentioned in my interview, to try to defend my impartiality. I was kind of I asked Jay some tough questions about it. I'm not just I don't like everything that Defiance does. I mean, because TRES, I'm gonna have to see a lot more about it, and I'm gonna have to be convinced a lot more. I'm still worried about it having twice as many long options as short options. But anyway, Jay said that it's because the short options expire twice as much. So, I mean, he knows more than I do. Anyway, this is right in the middle of the valley of death. I guess we could also go to Option Strat and see what Option Strat has on it. On Option Strat, it looks like, I was fast forwarding it, and it looks like we might have an Island of Mercy popping up that we can aim for, depending on how things go. All right, so right now the price of TLT closed right around 88.30, which is what this dotted line is indicating. You can see for right now, we're right in the middle of we're close to being in the middle of the valley of death. We need to get over 88.92 or under 87.01. Yeah, I had this thing. What was I thinking? I think maybe it's moved. I think volatility is contracting or something, or expanding, actually. So what did I say? 87.01? We just have to get about there to get outside of that box. Okay. Well, in any event, we'll see how we do on that. That's an interesting fund. Do any of you guys have any shares of Tress? I'm trying to think if I've talked to anybody who has Tress. I'm looking for the questions right now. So if you guys have any. You guys have any questions for me, leave them. I'm checking the questions now. What did Bitcoin do today? Up a point, 1.2. When Bitcoin's up a percent or down a percent is pretty much unchanged. Not really, but compared to other assets, up a percent's a big deal. You hear that in Bitcoin, not so much. Although I will say, what in the hell happened in the last hour of the day? Somebody leave that in the comments. I haven't even surfed. I haven't even looked at Twitter. I haven't looked at any other YouTube, YouTube creators' videos. But that is, I mean, that's nice to see if you're a freaking Bitcoin, bull. Also, Bitcoin seems to lead the market. Maybe that means the pullback in the market's over. And it's probably getting pretty close because I thought about getting puts today for Friday because I'm thinking it goes down again. But I have a really bad track record, and that's just what I'm thinking. So it's probably. Remember the other day, what was it, 2 days ago, I wanted calls in NVIDIA up here. I bought that last little thing, and I would probably sell this last little thing and be wrong. I have a bad habit of being late. But anyway, I didn't do anything about it because I was busy working. But that's kind of what I was thinking. That's kind of what I was thinking. All right, let me get these questions checked here. See what you guys have to say. Oh, yeah, I'm going to show the buffer report. The buffer report's really good today. I just want to see if there's any questions. I'm doing this mainly because I'm not doing another report tonight to see how you guys are doing and just to check in. That's kind of what I was saying. All right. So it doesn't look like I have any questions. And that's, oh, yeah, I do. Okay, you have some. Okay, Brad has some Tress. Okay, badass. We have a winner. All right, Echo. Well, now, Echo's in the long straddle and strangle business. And I'm just looking at the charts. It doesn't look like it was a good day for long straddles and strangles. Although I did read the message that Echo sent me, and I think you did eke out a profit somehow, or your system did. Is that right? Or you, anyway, Echo has a system that's killing it lately. Hey, Brad, I'm glad you guys are here. Okay, let's look at this buffer report, because the best thing about the buffer report was Tress. I thought maybe I'm turning into a Tress, a Tress fanboy or something. But I mean, the buffer report. I mean, let's face it, the market's gone to shit lately on these high yield funds. But or that's not the high yield funds' fault. The market's pulled back and it's hurting all of these. Well, okay, well, I mean, Tress is doing what it's supposed to be doing. I've been, the one thing about being long options is it could be good in times of high volatility, and this isn't even that high of volatility. And look, its benchmark is down 4% and it's up 2%, 1.5 or something. So, maybe in a real meltdown, which I hope we don't have, I'm going to knock on wood, but I don't want to do it because then Jax thinks somebody's here. And I did it last night. It was a disaster, but I'm knocking on wood quietly. And anyway, but yeah, Tress is so look, this is just for April. So since April, there's not been a lot of good news, and not just in this sector, in any sector that's long stock, with the exception of Nvidia. Look at that. That's a noticeable standout. It's saying Tesla's up and Tesla's down, but I haven't been looking at these charts all day, and lots of times I find I'm going to call BS on that because look over here at TSLP. I mean, I guess I could go figure it out, but it's not that big a deal to me. I mean, I guess I'll have it figured out. Let's look at it. I can't just report something and then not say, oh, it's probably not right, but there's no way that's right. I hate this. I hate this about this other job. Usually I'm doing nothing but looking at this stuff all day long. So then when I come on and give you guys my afternoon report, I've already worked out a lot of these problems. I've already figured out what's going on, or if there is a problem. I mean, maybe this is happening. I don't know. So this is showing the high yield fund price of 1422, and that's just a price right now. So then I have over here, I have the minus 5-day price. And that's actually not a 5-day price anymore. I'm doing that going out a month. So that goes out to the last day of the month. So it's actually minus 11 days. You guys can see it in the formula right there. So the minus 11-day price is 1465. But you also, and then the current price is 1422, but you've got to add in the dividend, which is 68. So if you add the dividend 68 plus 22, that's like 1488. Yeah. Tesla, it appears, is up in the same time frame. Is Tesla really down that bad in the same time frame? So it's showing Tesla at 157, and it's showing Tesla. Yeah. Oh, right. 5-day price. Oh, but then I computed over here the benchmark C minus K. C minus K. Okay, so it's saying it was Austin, we have a problem. Austin, we have a problem. Anyway, my apologies. I would always have this stuff worked out before I even saw you guys. But yeah, I was calling BS on that. Even if that's true, which I believe that's impressive. I mean, there's still nothing wrong with this fund. The way it's been acting lately, it's been doing its job. Maybe not the past 3 months, but the past week or whatever. It's been turned around and tried to make a stand here and tried to go back up, but maybe not today. Let's look over here. This one's got to be frustrating for a lot of people because this fund's so widely held. And understandably it is, because it has a good combination, because these things, of course, they always call them yield chasers, but Yeah, everyone wants a yield that pays more rather than less. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just being a capitalist, you know. Uh, so I don't know, but the other thing you want when you look at one of these deals is you want a good underline. And if somebody would have come to you a year ago, to me anyway, and said, let's do this, let's do a cover call program in Tesla, I would say, okay, that's a great underline that has a ton of potential for upside. I mean, that's what you want. And you want a stock that's not going out of business. I don't think Tesla's going anywhere. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want. I don't know how you could ask for anything more. That just shows, why being diverse is important. In any event, I'll stop talking about diverse. Yeah, this gap down was pretty vicious this morning. Okay, here's my theory on Tesla. Maybe they're dropping in advance of earnings, and then when earnings come out, even if they're shitty, they'll turn around and go back up. I don't know. It's just an idea. Put it in the comments if you guys have any ideas. All right, Echo, I'm going to read your comments. You broke even. Okay. Well, breaking even's like a profit on some days. I mean, yeah, when the market goes straight sideways and you're trying to do anything with long options where you're, from the buy side, oh my gosh. That's the kind of day you just want an iron condor around the whole freaking market and you win on both sides. But as soon as I do that, I hate iron condors. As soon as I do that, the market starts running. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I would rather wait. What I do is I don't really play condors. It drives me crazy. I'll wait for the market to start running and take a directional shot at whichever way it starts running. And then lots of times, that's probably why I'm not the greatest trader. And then lots of times my directional shots are wrong and whatever. All right, guys. Someday we'll have a show where we do some trading or whatever. More talking about trading. All right. So Max, your prop box. You double click on the box, you can type in the exact value. Top, bottom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the profit box. Well, and that would you're saying, Brad, that would help me from having to like guesstimate what it is and hold the cursor over it or something. Sometimes just a little, I guess, and also I could set it to the exact value. So it's exact. I guess you're saying instead of just dragging it there to type the value in yeah. All right. That's not a bad idea. That's a good idea. Well, Echo, it looks like I'm glad you won the fight. Let's get on back to some of these buffer things. Let's check this shit out. Anyway, so I'm giving Tesla and Tress the wins of the day so far. In Tesla, that's damn good for ever since April. It's been a shitty month. Same thing with NVIDIA. The other thing, here's why this chart's really impressive also, because, well, I don't know. I think that Tesla, for some reason, they didn't penalize Tesla as bad for the big gap down today. And maybe it's just because of the cumulative effect of the options sold, or I don't know. I need to watch Retire on Dividends video. He covers, and I watched it this morning, and I forget what happened. Anyway, I need to watch it tomorrow and see what else. See if Tesla rolled any more options down. All right. Well, let's check out. One of the funds added a strike this morning. I thought it was Tesla, but maybe it was Coney. Coney trades Coinbase options, of course. I'm saying for the people who maybe don't know. Yeah, something at the end of the day, they decided to buy, I guess, crypto assets came in. At the end of the day, they decided they wanted them. Okay, let's check the buffer report and let's look how Coney's doing buffer-wise. Buffer-wise, Coney's doing what I would call acceptable. Parents down 11, Coney's down 9. It's within the realm of acceptability. It'd be better to be like Misty, where Misty's only down 11 and the parent asset's down 15. That's a little better buffer. I'm more comfortable with that one. But all these funds doing their job. OARC's only down 11, where OARC's only down 8.5, where ARC's down 11. AMD looks fine. aptly leading on the downside, but these ones where it's almost unchanged, I don't think it matters. Or I think it matters, but it's not. I don't care about them as much. Maybe I should. All right, so AMD. I thought we just did. Oh, that's AMZ. Yeah, AMD's been having kind of a rough go of it. Look at MRNY. Tons of buffer there. Buffer all day. PayPay looking good on the buffer. I mean, everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. It's down, but here's what I would say. TRES is definitely a standout, and so is Tesla. Specifically, Tesla is. I mean, Tesla is specifically doing better than TSLP, although, wait. Now, I'm sure, never mind. Tesla and Tress are the standouts. Forget about TSLP. I just found it there. They have it there. All right, but what I was thinking, I'm going to start keeping TLTW next to Tress. Because one thing about Tress is, like I've talked about, it'd be a good hedge. It might even be a really good hedge directly for TLTW, which sells covered calls, and it does a synthetic buy right strategy. So that is a neutral, it's a bullish strategy. It's a mildly bullish strategy. So you could see a mildly bullish strategy in the bond market. It has not been a bullish time for bonds. So TLT is down about 4.5%, and so is the overall bond market. So I don't really follow TLT that much. Maybe I need to, but I think these might be a good pairs trade. In any event, today, TRES would be helping dampen some of TLTW's volatility. But I bet, or I know, in good times, a covered call fund in a good time in bull markets and stuff do great. I bet you TLTW does just fine in markets that are going upwards, and you know, but TRES I think can complement it and make money in markets that are not behaving, so to speak. All right, so yeah, there's no way. Okay, forget about that. I'll figure that data stuff out on my own. All right, let's look at some more stuff. Let's just look at a 1 day. So 1 day. So, I mean, is that right? Did the freaking NASDAQ really go? Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's right. NASDAQ went nowhere. So like I always say, of course, every fund should just be killing these things. I mean, this is what these funds are made for. Sure enough, Triple QI killing it. JEPQ killing it. Killing the parent. Same thing with JEPI. SPY-T's beating the parent. FEPI's beating the shit out of the parent. SPY-I's doing fine. JEPY is beating the parent to death, just abusing the parent. That's elder abuse right there. Holy cow. Same thing with IWMY. That's elder abuse right there. Both of these funds. That's where these defiance funds do better, and you guys will start seeing, hopefully not, but they do better in bad markets, unfortunately. I think that's why a lot of people think they underperform. A lot of people say they've underperformed, and yeah, they have compared to some of the other things, but they're designed different. But they're designed for days like today. They're monetizing that huge jump down yesterday. That huge, even though it was a loss, but it caused volatility to jump another 30%, even higher than it already was yesterday today. So they sold those options, and those were big winners today. So, you know, that's, or the market went nowhere, so those options expired worthless, and they monetized all that big juicy premium. QDTE did great. XDTE, buffered. ULTY trying to redeem itself. That thing's just down 2% 1 day, up 2% the next, down to, I mean, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those funds. Look at TUGN's doing nice in USI. I can't really find anything doing bad. Why is YMAC down? Probably because of, yeah, I can see why. YMAG and YMAX are down because some of the YieldMax Universe stocks are down. The index stocks, and this is a good case for the indexes here. Lots of days, lots of times the single names do well, but some days like today, it's a day for the indexes. So I think it'd be nice to have some of both. Be nice to have a widely diverse portfolio of these. All right, well, let's see what else we can get ourselves into. So now this was concerning to me a little bit. Here, I'm going to check the comments real quick. All right, more accuracy. Did I mess something up? It's a crazy day. Wait, there's something based on Yeah, there is something based on USO. There's USOI, and it's a covered call fund on USO, right? Now that would have been a shitty one to have whenever USO went negative, or oh my gosh. Can you imagine the people in Discord if we would have had a Discord back then when oil kept dropping and that they, oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, anyway, Brad, yeah, I'll take your advice on the profit boxes. Yeah, yeah, Echo, I believe, yeah, there is. It's US. Okay, let's get back to business. All right, so the 30-day, this is what I say, this is somewhat concerning to me. I took a quick look myself before I signed on to the buffer report. And I remember lately we've been looking at the 30-day, and I've been showing it as an example of what's going right because all the shorter time frames are bad. And then I switch over here to 30-day, and I say, now look at the 30-day, we're still doing fine. And we are still doing fine by and large, but we're losing ground. We have a lot more below the line than above the line. I will say, look at the 30-day. There's no one leading on the downside except FBY. But like I say, it's not leading that much. It's only, it's only leading by 1.5 points. Anyway, so but there's no serious what I would call a serious underperformance problem. And in fact, we have outperformance, which is really rare over that long of a time frame. Tons of outperformance. NVIDIA, MRNY, PayPay. Yeah, I'm liking PayPay as a new name. As long as it keeps paying, it's a paying one. I should have got me some PayPay. Forget about the freaking IWM. I mean, it's getting killed lately. Of course, the week after I got it. I got about a month. But of course, it gets killed. Oh well. Anyway, I don't really see anything that's a problem. Look, even AMD's the worst performer on the chart. But anyway, I do notice that it's getting weaker with the 30-day time frame. We have more and more losing ground, but April single names. If we already looked at this, we already looked at this one. Okay. So I think we've done just about as much looking as we can do to that. What time is it? 5:09. So futures are open. Let's see how futures opened. Oh shoot, I still have delayed data. Gosh darn it. Well, anyway, whatever. I bet they opened. Here's my guess. I bet they opened 17.8. Oh, there it is. I think it maybe. I'm getting a quote. So maybe I'm not delayed. Maybe I'm just delayed 10 minutes. I think I am. That's what it is because it just turned on. It's a 10-minute delay. Okay, well, I was going to make this wisecrack. I was just going to pick the close, which is 17.896, and say, I bet that's where futures are. And right about the time I said that, they opened up right about that price, and now they're going up. They're blowing up. They're up here to 17.912. Anyway, this is 10 minutes ago. So I don't think futures are probably really doing that much. Let's take a look at bond and the dollar. Echo's probably here today. What was Dirk saying about the dollar? It's probably too long to put in a comment. I know they were concerned about the yen, the dollar yen at the 106 level or the 166. But anyway, a lot of people use dollars like VIX. When it's going up, the market's going down generally. So there's dollar. Let's do an overlay with the VIX just for fun. Still. All right, I have one more step. I can't figure out how to do this in one step. New pane below. Okay. And you can see, so below is volatility index, the VIX, which is the 30-day expected volatility in the market. And it's a number. It's a number. Yeah, great. Thanks, Mike. What I was going to say is something to remember about the number is, gosh darn it, I just forgot the rule I was going to mention. But anyway, I'll Google in a second. But you can look at VIX, and when it's said it's either 16 or 18, I forget. There's a number it's at that's kind of like what I almost think of as like equilibrium, but not really, but it's the way I think of it. that when it's at that number, what that means is it's projecting a point, a 1% move either up or down or a 1% range every day. I think it's 60. So, so let's say if we were at 16 and we're doing an option trade, we would be looking, I mean, that's one way that's where it might help us out. We'd be thinking, all right, well, we would know where the expected move was. So that might help us strategize. Right now, but anyways, but VIX and dollars, they aren't really related, but people use them as they're like, sometimes they can be a pre-warning sign even that when they start creeping up, especially if they start creeping up and the market's going up at the same time, that's when a lot of people decide to buy protection or whatever. But you can see VIX made a new high here when the dollar did. And then you come over here and VIX made another new high with the dollar. In any event, I'm going to start watching the dollar more, and we're watching the treasuries because this is what then the 10-year basically this is what controls TLT. And since we're rooting for a big move out of TRES, or since I'm rooting for a big move, I'm looking for higher prices in the 10-year. And that could also be, that's definitely a bearish signal for the market. That's never, higher rates are not typically what the market's looking for. But yeah, just right here, you can see Coney was down 2%, or Coney was down 2.5%. Coinbase was down 205. See, I'm going to check the Dan Buffer report. I don't even have a 1 day. I don't have one. The 1 day single weight. All right, I do. Yeah, I do. And it's right. See, I check it every once in a while, make sure it's right. Because I'd be surprised how many times that it's wrong. All right, in any event, it doesn't look like there's much going on. If you guys want, I'm going to check the comments one more time. I need to get back to making this sign also. All right, so we're talking about USOI. Okay, I want to hear about this. So Brad's saying USOI has been pretty good lately. Oh, the dividend, 89 cents and $1.71, $1.54. So I wonder what percentage that is. I don't even know what USOI trades at. That's a big dividend, though. But it probably trades at 50 or something. Still pretty nice dividend, though. But yeah, here's what, if I was a rich guy, and I'm not, but if I was a rich guy, I'm sold on the concept of selling options, obviously. But I would put together a portfolio that had 50 of these in it. And what I would do is, and I would particularly concentrate on ones that the underlying wasn't stock. I love or you want some unrelated underlines. Defiance is coming out with some high yield funds with daily options based on the dollar and based on gold, I think. Anyway, but some commodity ones. So anytime you can use a different underline, because what I'm always saying, these things are awesome. But the one thing that's bad about them is if your underlying goes to shit, so does your high yield fund, or your high yield fund goes to shit, even though it does keep paying you a nice yield. But the price of the high yield fund, the NAV of the high yield fund goes to shit if the underlying does. Anyway, so if all your high yield funds are stocks, you can see the problem with that. Even though there is diversification between different kinds of stocks to some extent, if you would, if you had some that were tied to the dollar, to gold, to oil, dollar, gold, oil, I mean, and then I would also diversify among the single stocks because it's not like there's anything wrong with the market, but you just don't want to be overloaded in the one name that's the worst name of the year. And that's what happened to to Tesla. But anyway, okay, so USOI is trading about $78, but still, if you're paying more than $1 a month, so that's like $12 a year. But I mean, it depends. It looks like it goes up and down, but even if you pay $1 a month on average, that's $12 a year. That's a nice dividend, and you have exposure to oil. I mean, sure, it trades high because oil's up lately. Let's take a look at this. Well, damn it, let's put USOI on the buffer reports. Why don't I do that? And we'll just start tracking it every night. I mean, I definitely want to, and I'm going to make a video about diversifying within the high yield fund universe. In other words, doing what we just talked about choosing different underlines, trying to be diverse. And there's not a lot of options out there, so you can't. There's not. Unfortunately, you're still pretty tight. And even when you switch from like stocks to Bitcoin, they're both tied together. Or if you switch from even stocks and oil are somewhat related, you know. But in any event, you know, stocks and bonds are, they're inversely related, I guess. Supposed to be. I mean, anyway. But you can only. But what I'm saying is, even when you diversify into other areas, you know, you can only diversify so much. Plus, there isn't a lot of commodity ones available. I think commodities is the area that I would be most interested in because it gives you exposure to a different part of the economy and the financial system. So anyway, I'm real excited about the Defiance Daily ones. I believe it's dollar, gold, and I don't know. Anyway, someone can look it up and put it in the comments. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna hey, wait. I'm gonna let you go, but let's put this in the buffer report real quick. I'm going to add this USOI to the buffer report, and I'm going to put it right down there next to TRES, my other special situation. TRES, it doesn't kind of fit in with the other ones. Like I said, it's kind of a problem child, or it's like your cousin that went to art school and, you know, in San Francisco. It's just a different kind of person, I guess. Just different. Diversity is our strength, right? Or whatever they say. Let's see. All right, so and this is really convenient too. And Brad happens to know. I need to know the amount of the last dividend, and he just told it to me. It was $1 something. What was that? He just told it to me. Where did I see it? I got right here. Yeah. Okay. 20%. Okay. Well, that's darn good. They just paid $1.50, or what did they pay last month? Oh, 89 last month. Okay, so it's a little bit less, but $1.54, $1.71, that's pretty good. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm adding her right now as we speak. So, and it's helping me because usually I have to look up the last dividend, and since I already know it, plus I'm just doing it before I forget about it because as soon as I get off with you guys, oh no, this is 89 cents. As soon as I get off with you guys, I'm going back into Photoshop, graphic design land, and I'm be busy all night working with PDFs and JPEGs and all that, a bunch of that kind of stuff, resizing stuff and making promotional videos. I do all the viral marketing for this. It's a 501c3. It's a charitable thing. Okay, well they are now on there. So now I'm going to let's look at the 30-day and see how they've done on a 30-day basis. Yeah, there we go. USOI. Okay. So they're right down here next to TRES, right? Yeah. Well, why isn't TRES showing up anymore? TRES's underline is showing up, and ever since I added USOI, TRES is showing up. You guys don't have to keep watching if you don't want to. I know it's boring. I'm getting ready to let you go. I promise. I appreciate you guys for sticking here. If you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, just ask me. But I think maybe I copied 2 rows of information or did something. Something screwed up. All right, so okay. So I have TRES. TRES is 1760. 5 days ago they were 1759, so they are literally unchanged. Especially if you, yeah. Okay, that's it was all right. In any event, on USO's part, this is now this. So this is showing USOI pretty much flat, as long with USO is flat as well. And now, see, now look, it's fixed. You guys saw that. That's what I'm saying. There's data problems in this thing. That's what I mean. People don't know. Corey will ask me, what's to do it? And it's like when a mechanic, I'll try to tell her something, but it never does it by the time she's looking at it. You know, it's like when you take your car to the mechanic or whatever. But this, I love Google Sheets, but it gives me fits. Sometimes it'll do something like that. Sometimes I'll spend like 30 minutes chasing down a problem, and then it'll just update and it'll be fixed. And anyway, all right. So USOI flat. Tress is the badass fund. So we're giving fund of the day to NVIDIA. There's three funds of the day: Tesla, NVIDIA, and Tress. How's that sound? All right, guys. I'm going to check comments one more time, and then I'll let you guys get out of here. Yeah, I got the 89 cents, Brad, March. Yeah, I got it. I just, for the calculation's sake, I just need the last months, because anyway, but yeah, I just need the most recent months, I should say. So I just keep updated, but perfect, guys. You guys have a good evening. Probably I'm not going to see you tonight, but I'll be back. Let's say I'll be back in the morning, though. I'll do the morning update, and we'll see where we're at. But hopefully I'm back going full force, making videos and not worried about all this other stuff anymore after tomorrow. I've probably got about one more day of stuff to do, but then I'll be back full time on YouTube. All right, guys. Hey, Echo, thanks for checking in. If you're still there, I appreciate you, Brad, as well, and anyone else who's listening. I know there's people listening that aren't commenting. David, I appreciate you as well, too. Thanks for commenting. All right, guys. Have a good one.